You might recall this time last year, actually I think it was the beginning of October, but we'll get into the specifics here. Mr. Pelosi had a little friend over, a friend with a hammer, and now he's finally going to trial. The man is facing quite a steep penalty, but we'll get some of the insight before the trial really starts to kick off. So David DePape, opening statements lay out right-wing conspiracy theories defense says led to Paul Pelosi attack. Interesting, because we know a little bit about his backstory. When this all started to kick off, I did a series of videos. Obviously, they'd be out on and around that time. And well, he kind of grew up and spent most of his life as a bit of a left-wing hippie, so I would just be very interested as to see how we get to this whole right-wing conspiracy stuff, but alright. Opening statements began Thursday in the federal trial of David DePape, so there's not going to be any video recording of the trial, federal trial and all. Accused in the October 22nd, or 2022, hammer attack of Paul Pelosi, with the defense attorney laying out the outlandish conspiracy theories that drove DePape to seek out then House Speaker Nancy Pelosi at the couple's Pacific Heights home in San Francisco. And kind of like another attack that happened, funnily enough, in early October, just of 2023. Why wasn't there any security? How did he manage to sneak behind enemy lines so deeply in one of the most wealthiest areas, not just in San Francisco, not just in California, but in the entire United States, without alerting anything? The Capitol Police, personal security detail, the break through the great gated community. It's just all very weird, right? Okay, defense attorney Jody Linker. The defense team would not dispute the government's video evidence of the attack that fractured Paul Pelosi's skull. Yeah, we've seen that as well. Pretty gross, actually. And DePape's other actions that night, but told jurors they would learn it was a result of misguided crusade against a perceived as a corrupt ruling class that needed to be taken down. Oh, okay, so this is going to be used as justification to take down anybody that has wrongthink into the future. I see what's going on here. Linker's opening remarks referenced a litany of right-wing and QAnon-inspired beliefs about the sinister cabal of government officials and elites. Pelosi, Representative Adam Schiff, George Soros, Hunter Biden, Tom Hanks, Gavin Newsom. What is, the client list of Jeffrey Epstein, using wealth and power to spread lies and set the country into ruin. Okay, where's the conspiracy theory part of this? Members of the jury, many of us do not believe any of that, Linker said. But the evidence in this trial will show that Mr. DePape believes all these things with every ounce of his being. I want to know how this is a federal case, by the way. He didn't break any state lines. This is a break and entering and assault charge, maybe? Attempted murder if you want to go all the way 100, but why is it taking place in federal court? I understand that he was looking for Nancy Pelosi, but she resides in California. This all took place in California. How did you get the federal jurisdiction on this? DePape has pleaded not guilty to the charges of attempted kidnapping of a federal official and, that's where it is, okay, and assault on an immediate family member of his federal official. But those should be bisected charges, like those should be taking place in the state court, but the kidnapping of a federal official, I could see that being interesting. It's interesting. At the end of the trial, you will know the reason he acted had nothing to do with Pelosi and her official duties as a member of Congress. The reason, the why of all of this had everything to do with the ruling class engaged in corruption, the media spreading lies and protecting children. DePape went to the Pelosi home to effectuate his plan, as bizarre, misguided, and unthoughtful as it was. So your defense is, come on, this guy's like borderline retarded, okay, but he managed to get into one of the most secure areas in the entire country, so you shouldn't hold him that accountable. Bold strategy. Don't know if it's going to work, though. Before Linker's statements, prosecutors began their opening statement by laying out some of the video and photographic evidence of the hammer attack on Paul Pelosi, including the graphic image of his head injuries as he lay in a pool of blood on the floor. The prosecution described how the accused unleashed his plan of violence. Yeah, no, it all seems pretty forthright. It's just we don't know everything that led up to the video evidence of what happened, because yeah, you can find the video itself, okay? They're just out there holding hands. Well, actually, Paul trying to hold the hammer that DePape has right there, and then they take a couple of steps back after the police want to come in, and he whacks him in the head with a hammer, and yeah, it's pretty gross. Pretty gross, not gonna lie. Federal prosecutor Laura Vartane Horn said the government would prove beyond a reasonable doubt that DePape intended to kidnap and hold Nancy Pelosi hostage and attacked Paul Pelosi after warning him, "You stop me from going after evil. You will take the punishment instead." All right, pal. Nancy Pelosi was in Washington, D.C. at the time. Yeah, it was such a well-orchestrated attack that he couldn't even get a publicly available calendar ready to figure out if she was going to be home. Hi, is Nancy home? Well, can I wait until my friend comes back? He didn't even bother doing that. Police arrived at the home after Paul Pelosi managed to call 911 during his encounter with DePape. Yeah, which is another, how the fuck did that necessarily happen? Who appeared in his bedroom and woke him up asking, "Where's Nancy?" He's like, "I don't know, but well, while you're here, my pecker's conspicuously dry, so if you'd act like the last nice young boy who was here." Investigators said DePape told them he plowed to break her kneecaps if Nancy lied to him about the whereabouts of the other people he was targeting. So if he's going to be targeting all of those other people that are on the list, you got Adam Schiff, which again, he's got a publicly available calendar. It's not that difficult to find. Hunter might be tough, and George Soros probably has very good security. You just have lofty aspirations, so you just decided to go with Speaker of the House first? All right, then. Must have been the closest geographically to him. Among those expected to testify is the person referenced in the court papers as target number 1. Prosecutors say DePape planned to kidnap Nancy Pelosi to get to target 1. Now identified as Bay Area scholar Dr. Gail Rubin, leading academic in feminist theory and queer studies. All right, this is fucking weird. Prosecutors the prosecution's first witness, a San Francisco police officer, described the attack, captured on multiple body cameras on October 28th, as iron-hitting skull. Yeah, we seen it. Okay. DePape, dressed in a navy sweater, khaki pants, sitting stoically facing the jury. Yeah, we know. Because DePape believes she is promoting child molestation, said Linker. She is going to say completely false, that she believes no such thing, but David believes it. So yeah, you run with the insanity defense, because that's what it seems like. There's always a shot, but there's almost no legal argument here, said UC Law of San Francisco professor Rory Little, an expert in federal criminal procedure. The defense is trying to say, well, he really believed other things. He didn't really believe what he was going to, that he was going to be assaulting Paul Pelosi, but he doesn't have to believe it. At the moment he hit him with a hammer, he knew he was hitting him with a hammer. Thanks. That's the type of tactical insight that is needed to be a law professor, apparently. At least in San Francisco, and they need more help than they can get. We have Colin Rugg. Colin Rudd breaking down the situation. I'd like to hear from the other side here from a second, because we got the establishment side. Let's hear maybe another opinion on the situation. Paul Pelosi's hammer-wielding attacker is facing life in prison, as his motive for the attack was revealed in the San Francisco courtroom. David DePape pleaded not guilty to federal charges related to the attack. DePape's legal counsel asserted the motivation behind the attack do not align with the charges brought against him. Oh, wow, that's a very different telling of events. Wow, good on you, CBS. Charges against the 43-year-old include assault on an immediate family member of a federal official and an attempted kidnapping of a federal official. I actually didn't know. That's a federal crime. All right, then. I guess you could theoretically charge that outside of breaking and entering an assault if you wanted to, I don't know, say maybe overcharge somebody in order to set a precedent for wrongthink. Just saying here. DePape's lawyer, a public defender, that also wasn't mentioned as well, told the court he was motivated by a bizarre and misguided plan based on conspiracy theories he obsessed over. And that's also not a dig at public defenders. Like, normally they're just young attorneys trying to get trial experience and all that jazz, and some of them are very good, and some of them are quite distinguished at their careers and very good at their job. But also a consistent through line is they are always overworked, underpaid, don't know all the ins and outs of everything. So yeah, you're getting representation in court. Is it the best? Is it equivalent to what the federal fucking government could throw at you? His lawyer said DePape subscribed to internet conspiracy theories about Nancy Pelosi that claim the California representative was part of a scheme to manipulate the country. She's technically, okay, you could explain that. Well, she's a very prominent Democrat. She was the Speaker of the House at the time. So she would, in an extrapolated way, have the means and methods to manipulate the country. Okay. To spread lies and to steal votes from Donald Trump. His attack on Paul Pelosi is not in response to Nancy Pelosi's actions in Congress, but came as a result of despair, since the police arrived and his larger plan was thwarted. DePape's lawyer argued, this case here is about the why. The why matters. This case is about whether David acted on account of Nancy Pelosi's duties as a member of Congress. He didn't. The whys of all of this was a part of DePape's conspiratorial belief that the liberal elite were harming children and subverting American democracy. Well, you could extrapolate those out a little bit, especially with the overabundance of trans propaganda that's out there directly hurting children, pointed at children, perhaps getting pushed through the public school system. So you could kind of see that, and subverting American democracy. So apparently wasn't necessarily subscribed to certain correct conspiracy theories or even ones that are based in factual claim, because America is a constitutional republic, by the way, and there's no democracy there at all whatsoever. He did something wrong, but did not commit these 2 federal charges. Nancy Pelosi is a culture warrior, the face of the Democratic Party. Her armory is the Democratic National Committee, and her weapon is the mainstream media, DePape believed. Okay. Video below. You can see the body cam footage if you'd like to as well. And he's facing life in prison. He deserves, because he obviously, very, very, very obviously committed a crime on camera. But the fact that this trial right here, a simple assault, a simple breaking and entering, is being used as justification to put something on the books at the federal level to charge somebody with what is, for all intents and purposes, wrongthink. I got some problems with that. I got some big old problems with that, but I'll be paying attention to this case probably in the background a little bit. I don't anticipate this to be a very popular topic, but at the same time, still going to be interested, because I think this all eventually plays into, if we're going to go ahead and get conspiratorial for a second, it's all going to play into 2024 and what could ultimately end up happening with people that are a little bit too influential, a little bit too powerful, and have too many of the wrong opinions. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.